2023 is here. And I don't know about you, but I always feel really inspired at the start of a new year. I really want to just take this time to reflect on the past year and come up with my goals and resolutions for the new year and schedule them into my calendar, figure out ways to break them down so that I can actually achieve them this year. If you would like to join me in this, I really would love for this to be a very interactive video. Pull out your journal, or if you like to plan digitally, pull out your computer, your laptop, whatever it is, iPad, phone, anything, and let's do this together. Before we get into the goal setting of 2023, I really want to start by reflecting on the year that 2022 was. Really think about what good things happened, what bad things happened, what did you learn? I'm going to put a couple journal prompts on the screen, and these are meant to be extremely open-ended. The first one is 2022 was the year that I blank. Really think about the year that you had. The answers to this can be internal and external. So you can say, 2022 was the year that I learned to love myself. 2022 was the year that I grew in confidence. Or it can be external things. 2022 was the year that I moved out of my parents' house. 2022 was the year that I found love. 2022 is the year that I graduated school. Whatever it may be, really think about that and write down everything that you can think of that happened in 2022. Now, the second journal prompt is, in 2022, I learned blank. Again, this is extremely open-ended, so think of anything that you learned in 2022. This can be physical things, like I learned how to sew, I learned a new language, I learned how to play Sudoku, which is, for example, what I learned. These can also be internal things as well, like in 2022, I learned that I struggle with anxiety from time to time. In 2022, I learned that I'm most confident when I'm wearing an outfit that I feel comfortable in. Literally anything, just write it down. You know the drill. Also, I do want to say this does not have to be traditional journaling. You can literally write this out in bullet points, which is exactly what I did.
Take me back to before the new. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing.
This next exercise I am extremely excited about. I was listening to the podcast called Manifest with Tori DeSimone, and Tori mentioned an exercise that she recommends and that she does to start the new year, and it is basically to write a letter to your past self from the end of 2023. So you're writing this letter as if 2023 has already happened, and you're reflecting on the year, and you're writing it to yourself now, your present self. I think this is so cool because you can literally write about how you want your life to be this next year, and you're writing about it in present tense or past tense. This happened, this is what I'm doing now. I suggest including as many details as possible. Where are you living? Who are you friends with? What type of job are you doing? Are you happy in your job? What are you eating on a daily basis? Are you working out? What do you do for self-care? How are you feeling? Are you happy? How much money did you make this year? Literally anything, be as specific as possible. Now, there's two ways that you can do this. You can write it as a letter to your past self, so write it as present you from 2023 at the end of it, and write it to you now. So you're writing a letter to your past self, dear past self, blah, blah, blah. Or you can just write it as a journal entry. Pretend like you are you at the end of 2023 and write in your journal everything that happened, how you're feeling, literally everything that I mentioned before. Now, this is super important because this exercise is where I'm going to get pretty much all of my New Year's goals and resolutions from. And I'll show you how to do that once I'm done writing. For this journal entry, I'm kind of keeping it centered around a few main topics and then expounding upon them as I'm writing it. The first one is social, so I'm talking about my social life, my friends, what I do with my friends, my husband, our date nights, any other social thing that we have, family, if we're hanging out with them, when we hang out with them, how I feel when I hang out with them, stuff like that. The next section that I have is the home. So I'm talking about, what does my house look like? What do the decorations look like? What is the vibe of the house? Is it cozy? Is it warm? Is it inviting? Do I decorate for the seasons? Is it neat? Is it clean? Do I make sure to take care of my house? Do I clean my house? The next section that I'm touching on is income. What kind of an income am I bringing in this year? How am I bringing in an income? What are the things that I'm doing to make money? How am I enjoying my job? Do I like it? Have I found another job? Am I looking for another job? The next is leisure. This is, what do you do in your free time? As you're writing it at the end of 2023, you can say, I read a lot, I take baths a lot, I take time for self-care. I've really learned a lot about skincare. My skin is glowing. I find time to journal, I meditate, whatever it may be. The next section is energy. How do you feel? Are you energized? What makes you energized? Is it the food that you're eating? Is it the people that you're hanging out with? Is it the sleep that you're getting? The last section that I have on there is Christianity. I'm a Christian, so for me, I want to write about that. How is my relationship with God in a year? What am I doing to grow closer to God? Am I praying? Am I reading my Bible? Am I attending Bible study? Whatever it may be. So these are just 6 categories that I'm focusing on the most. These kind of prompt me to know what to write, and for you this may be different. You can add any other category that you want, and it kind of just helps you write more and be as detailed as possible about every aspect of your life. I really hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, and this kind of leads us into creating our resolutions and our goals for the new year. What I'm gonna do is get a highlighter and go over everything I wrote in my journal entry and highlight the main things, and I'll show you how that works in 1 second. Okay, so I have my highlighter and I have my journal, and basically what I'm gonna do is read through it and kind of highlight the main ideas, the main things, whether that's an action or a place or a person. I'm basically just gonna go through and highlight it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to type up the main ideas that I wrote, and just because I wanna do this part digitally, and I'm basically gonna use those 6 categories that I had and put them all into those categories. Okay, so I have my 6 categories, and these are the type of things that I wrote in my journal that I highlighted. So for instance, let's start with social. I am married to my husband, so I wrote, you know, we go on date nights once a week, we take turns planning them, we go on one big vacation every year, one weekend trip each quarter, we have a healthy and strong relationship, stuff like that. So for instance, I highlighted the words date night, I highlighted vacation, and I highlighted weekend trip. I also wrote about girlfriends. I said, we have girls' night once a week. We talk, watch movies, self-care, blah, blah, blah. And so in that paragraph, I highlighted girlfriends. And then for the home, I put, we have a beautiful house. I keep it beautifully decorated. It stays neat and clean. I do the chores, dishes. I unload the dishwasher, wipe down the counters. I cook wonderful meals that are nutritious and yummy. And then I also put in this category, you know, we have people over often, we host events and parties, our home is welcoming and inviting, our home smells like warm cinnamon in the winter and fresh peppermint in the summer. Like I said, just very specific details. We decorate our home for each season. In those paragraphs, I highlighted the words beautiful house, decorated, neat and clean, chores, wonderful meals, hosting, warm and inviting, decorate. I highlighted all of those words within that. So the next category is income. So for this, I wrote a paragraph about how I make an income, what I do for work, if I love my job, things like that. And then, you just highlight the ways that you make money. The next one, leisure. I put in my free time, I read books. I read nonfiction books as well as self-help books. I write on the side as well. I spend time playing the piano and singing. I stay very active. I hike with friends and family. I go on walks and runs. I spend, 3 to 5 hours in the gym every week. I'm strong and I love lifting weights as well as cardio. I also put, I learned to cook new meals in my free time. I'm a great cook and I know a lot about nutrition. I stretch my body daily, meditate, journal my goals and thoughts. I spend time on my skincare routine. I have lovely skin. My skin is smooth and soft. My skin is healthy. I use healthy products on my body and in my home. A lot of this to me was writing affirmations basically, saying my skin is healthy, my skin is smooth and soft. Those are affirmations. And so I wrote those down. So in this section, what I highlight is read, write, piano, singing, active, hike, walks and run, gym, lifting weights, cardio, cooking, nutrition, stretch, meditate, journal, skincare, healthy products. So from that entire thing, those are the things that I highlighted because those are the things that I need to focus on in this new year. The next section is energy, and I wrote about feeling energetic daily. I wrote about, the food that I eat and the exercise that I do brings energy to my body. I feel energized and happy. I look happy and radiant. My hair is healthy and beautiful. My skin is glowing. My face is bright. My body is strong and graceful. And then I kind of talked about my morning routine. This is what I do in the morning. This is what makes me feel energized. So within this paragraph, I highlighted food, exercise, energy, hair, skin, body, morning routine. The last section, Christianity. Again, this is just for me because I am a Christian. I said, I read my Bible daily. I attend church weekly. I attend a Bible study. I'm close with God. I pray many times a day. So within this paragraph, I highlighted Bible, church, Bible study, and pray. Now, this is literally how I draw out my resolutions and my goals. Every single thing that I highlighted is basically a goal. That shows me, in a year from now, this is how I want to be. So now I have this entire year to prepare for that, which, I don't know, I think this is just such a cool way. This is the first year that I've done something like that. But basically, I go through every single highlighted word and I turn that into a goal. So for instance, with skincare, now one of my New Year's resolutions and goals is I want to have a great skincare routine. I want to learn more about skincare items. I want to purchase those skincare items, and I want my face to be glowing and smooth and beautiful. Another thing that I highlighted was girls' nights. So I wrote, as a resolution, I'm going to write, I want to plan more girls' nights and I want to have more girls' nights. And then, I also wrote in there learning about nutrition. So that's one of my New Year's resolutions is I want to learn more about nutrition. And another one, cooking good meals. So a resolution can be, I want to learn to cook better. I want to learn new recipes. And, reading. I want to read more books. And with working out and being active, I want to work out more. I want to be active. These are all resolutions and goals. But the next step is the exciting step, which is the thing that I really, really recommend. So listen up. If you listen to anything, this is it. The things that you highlighted in your journal entry, go ahead, write them out, make them into goals, like the things that I just said. And now we're actually going to break them down into monthly goals. I love this because I kind of mentioned this in my last video. If you guys want to go watch that, go ahead. It's basically how to stick to your New Year's resolutions. But basically, when you break it down into a monthly goals are much more achievable than just saying, oh, this year I plan to do this. That's so broad and it's hard. It's really hard to do that. So if you break it down into monthly goals, they're just that much more achievable. So what I'm gonna do now is take everything that I've highlighted and, tweak it a little and basically come up with monthly goals for myself in the new year. Okay, so I now have my list of monthly goals. One way to implement habits basically is start with a couple, and then once you get those to become a little bit more automatic, you can add more in. So this is just my big overarching list that came from the goals that I basically wrote in the end of 2023 letter to myself. So for instance, one of the goals that I have is that I want to have a better skincare routine. So to break it down into a monthly goal, I now have find one skincare product that is healthy for my skin to add to my routine. So once a month, I'm gonna find one skincare product, purchase it, and add it to my routine. Then the next one, I want to have more girls' nights with friends. So I wrote one time a month, this is a monthly goal, plan one girls' night with friends. You know, another one, I really wanted to learn new recipes and cook better. So I have as a monthly goal, one time a month, learn and try one new dinner recipe. Another one that I have, I wrote about my house and I wrote that I wanted to keep it clean and neat. And so one of my monthly goals is to deep clean one part of the house one time a month, like very deep clean it. Another thing, which is a really common resolution, is that I want to work out and be more active, go to the gym more. So I wrote on here, work out and be active at least 12 times a month, meaning at least 3 times a week at a minimum. I also wrote as a goal that I want to read more books in the new year. So to break this down into a monthly goal, I wrote read 1 book per month. I also wrote that a goal in the new year is to do self-care more often. So I literally have a goal in here that says take 2 hot baths as a monthly goal. So each month I will take 2 hot baths. So now that I have all of my goals and resolutions for the new year broken down into monthly goals, it is now time to schedule them into my calendar. This is called the Legend Planner. This is the one that I purchased for the new year for me. So I'm basically going to open up to the month of January and look at the monthly goals that I have set out for myself and figure out the best day that I can schedule it in. So I'm gonna do that now. Now, the first one was find one skincare product that is healthy for my skin to add to my routine. What I'm gonna do is actually schedule that towards the beginning of the month because that gives me some time to purchase it and, you know, receive it. So I am going to schedule it in for Monday, January 9th. Find skincare product. So that's literally written on my to-do list now. The next thing, plan a girls' night with friends. I'm looking at my calendar. I'm trying to figure out the best weekend that would work for that. Plan a girls' night. And I put that for Wednesday the 11th just to plan it out and then, you know, text them and stuff. The next goal, learn and try one new dinner recipe. Monday the 9th. My husband's friend is actually staying with us for the whole second week of January. So I'm thinking if I do a new dinner recipe, it could be while he's here, which would be cool. So another goal was once a month host someone, have someone over. And like I said, my husband's friend is coming for a week. So that counts as that for the month of January. Deep clean one part of the house. So I need to figure out which part of the house I want to deep clean. I'm kind of thinking like the bathtubs Sunday the 8th because that's the day before his friend comes to visit. Another thing that I want to schedule into my calendar, which I think is, some people might think is really silly, is taking 2 hot baths in the month of January. That I feel like would be a day-to-day thing. Then obviously this is tentative, like you can change it. I'll probably end up changing it because taking a hot bath is kind of an in-the-moment type of thing. But I'm gonna put it on my calendar anyway, just as a reminder. Another one is read 1 book in the month of January. So I actually really wanna get a membership at the public library near me. So in order to read a book, yeah, I've been using Audible, but I actually wanna read a book, like hold it in my hand. So I want to get a membership at the public library, so I need to figure out the best day for me to do that. I need to actually look up their hours so that I can figure out what is the best day for me to go. Okay, so I see here on Thursdays they actually close at 8 p.m. and every other day they close at 5 p.m. So Thursday is probably the best day for me to go. So I'm gonna schedule that in and I'll just go right after work. So I just finished up scheduling everything into my calendar for the first month. Obviously, there's a lot of things on this list that are kind of just a feel it out type of thing, but there is a lot of things that I can actually schedule in my calendar, and I feel like I'm actually gonna be able to achieve these because it's on my to-do list now, it's written in my calendar, and because it's broken down into monthly goals instead of just a broad New Year's resolution. And that is all I have for today's video. I really hope that this was helpful for you guys. I genuinely enjoyed planning for 2023, and I hope that you guys were able to sit down and do that with me, or at least take something from this video that you can implement when you start to plan for your year or your month. Thank you again so much for watching. If you guys have any other tips or if you would like to share your goals and resolutions for the new year, please comment them down below. I would love to read them, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to turn on notifications for every time that I post a video. Again, it was lovely having you here, and I will see you in the next one.